to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for social media and marketing tips and tricks for real estate. I'm Amy Stack, and today we're going to cover virtual open houses. Before we get started, if this is your first time here and you want to learn more about marketing based in technology for your real estate business, start now by subscribing to my channel. Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and then make sure to click the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Okay, so today we're talking about virtual open houses, and the three main categories of marketing are going to be your pre-open house, running your actual open house, and then your post-open house follow-up and how to leverage the video that you would have made by then. So I've polled everybody that's attended the class, and it looks like we have a wide spread of what everybody's wanting to look into right now. So to start the class, I'm going to do a little bit of an overview of everything, and then we can do some voting on what to dive into deeper. Sound good, everybody? Okay, so what I want to do is share my screen because we'll start with how to advertise before. I'm going to go into Command and Facebook, and if anybody's watching and you guys don't have the Keller Williams Command platform, you can do design work and stuff like Canva or other design programs that you are familiar with. So I can go ahead and put my link, my Canva link in the description of the video as well for anybody that's interested in that. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right, you guys all see my command account here? Perfect. Okay, so just like any type of event, client appreciation event, you're hosting an open house, even if you're doing, you know, a fun event that's not related to business, you need to let people know that it's happening, right? That's step one. So some of the things we can do in Command is come into the designs section here. And hit the plus sign, and we are going to go into the social section. And I want to point out that there is a section based specifically on creating marketing pieces around open houses. So that's going to load for a second, or two or three. There we go. So if you tap on listings, there's a little drop down in here, and one of the options is open house. So you can click on open house, and then you can see there's 5 templates in here that are formatted specifically for Facebook. We also have ones that are for Instagram, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So if you are on multiple platforms and you want to only have to create one graphic instead of recreating a bunch of different sizes, I recommend using the Instagram template because this looks the best across the most platforms. So you can use this layout on multiple platforms. So what you would do is just pick the graphic that you want and update it with the information for your open house. So I have other tutorials on how to use this designs platform. So I just wanted to show you guys how to get in here so that you're aware that you can make your design right inside Command for you. And then same thing, like I said, you guys, if you're more comfortable with other platforms, you can make your design in any design platform basically. So that is step one, is to make some sort of graphic for your open house. And then the other thing I suggest, I'm going to click into Facebook while that's loading, is let's see here. You want to go to a business page. So I'm going to my office business page, but we're just going to pretend this is your business page for your real estate business. You want to come to your business page and actually post it out to the world for them to see. Now, something that's not a super commonly known fact is that even though all these people have liked your business page, just because they like it, it does not guarantee that they're going to see that post. In fact, it's usually less than 10% of people on Facebook will see your post. That goes for personal accounts too. So posting it just once and letting it go, yeah, it's going to get out there a little bit, but it's not necessarily going to get all the eyes that you would think because, you know, you have a couple hundred likes, so you should have a couple hundred people seeing your post. That's not quite how it works on Facebook. So what you want to do is make sure you're crafting your post to be engaging. So you can use a picture in your graphic that is like a really cool feature of the house. Like if they've got a really neat kitchen and it's got some neat tile, or you know, if there's some cool artwork hung in the like a living room or something, highlight that picture. And when you're writing your post about your open house, ask people what they love about this house, what they want to come see, and they'll start commenting on it. And that will help push your post up in the algorithm organically without paying to get other people to see it. Because if I post something and Jeannie comments on it, and I'm friends with somebody that Jeannie's friends with, they're going to get a notification that Jeannie commented on Amy's post. So that helps kind of expand your reach a little bit. So that's more of a strategy tip for you. And if we need help going over how to actually do the post, we can do that a little bit later in the class. And then I also want to remind you guys that posting isn't your only option. You can share your post out once you've posted it to your business page. So I have a post right here. Now this one's not about an open house, but you can do this with any post. I have this post that's already been launched. It's already up there and available to the public to see. And if I scroll down to the bottom of it, I have a share button. So when I hit share, you can see I have share, share in a group, or share to a page. So you have a few options there. And this first one will open up another window for me and allow me to choose where I want that to go. So if I click that top drop down here, you can see I have some more options. Now you can even share these to your personal page. This account that I'm in right now, we have it set up not to share to personal pages, but one of the options that will be in there for you is to share from your business page to your personal page, which is allowed with Facebook. So typically you don't want to post this directly to your personal profile because you could technically get in trouble with Facebook for doing that because it's a business post. So if you post it on your business page and then share it to your personal profile, you're safe. That's okay to do. You can share it to people specifically. You can share it via Messenger. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff like that. And you can do all of this stuff on Instagram as well. So if you are more, you know, prevalent on Instagram and that's your platform, go do the same type of stuff there. Okay? So that's a little bit about advertising.
Can I ask a quick question on that?
Absolutely.
When I've done, now I think on your Facebook, was that still the original Facebook format, not the new one that you're using?
I'll switch over so you guys can see what she's talking about. So Facebook is in the midst of beta testing and launching a new layout. So I'm on the classic layout right now. If you hit this little arrow in the top right and come down, if you're eligible, you'll have a button here that says switch to new Facebook. And it will look like this. And you can choose between dark mode or light mode. And we're in light right now.
So my quick question is when I'm sharing to, I'm trying to remember if it's for both or one or the other. When I'm sharing my open house, you know, to my online Facebook, I guess flyers, if you will. Some of them you can't. Is there a way to be able to share it and keep what is like within that post? Because what I'm finding is, like I said, I think it's in when I'm sharing it to like the open house group, I have to actually copy and paste the part that I've typed in. The flyer will go over, but what I typed doesn't.
So it depends on what type of post you are doing. I've noticed that as well. Sometimes, because there's, you know, you've got your image post, you've got video posts, you've got links that you're posting. So I definitely need to play around with it more, but I have noticed that, and I can't remember specifically which one follows which rules, but some of them will share your original post. Some of them will have a little check mark box that says, do you want to share the original content? And you can check that off and share that. And some of them it just shares the picture. So that is something that I've been playing around with myself, but like I said, off the top of my head, I can't remember which one does what right now. One of the cool things about the new layout here is that you will have an option to bulk share, essentially. So you can say, I want it to go to all three of these groups and create the post, and it'll send to all three at one time instead of having to repost it in all three groups or whatever locations you're putting it in. So that is something that's coming with the new the new Facebook here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let me go ahead and hit share here just so you guys can see the difference of the old layout and the new layout. So you can see the button's a little different. It says share to group and share to page. Let me go to my profile and send my business page here.
Yeah, and on the new platform, you don't get the, you have to actually move over, right, and change it to your personal page if you want to share it to your personal page.
Yeah, you'll have that on the classic one too, depending on how the page was set up.
Is that correct?
That's what I just did. This little button right here will toggle between your personal profile and your business page.
Oh, okay.
So I just moved to personal profile. So now you can see I can share it publicly. I can put it in my story. I can send it in Messenger, share it in a group. So let's say I want to share it to a group, like you mentioned, the open house group. So this looks a little different than it did on classic Facebook. So I think that we might still see more updates coming through. Like I said, this is kind of in beta testing right now, but this is how it looks now with the new layout. So you can see there's the post that was originally created on the page, and then you can type in here whatever extra stuff you want to put in there. A little pro tip for you, I do recommend anytime you share, don't just hit share. Make sure you're adding content so people know why they should look at it. A lot of the times when you share a post, the main thing that pops up is the picture, and the text is real tiny below, and they have to click a button to see more. So they can't necessarily see right away your original post. So you don't have to just copy and paste it. You could update it a little bit and just say, you know, a short snippet of everything that you've already written. But that way people know what they're looking at and why they should be clicking into it more. So when you are doing this to advertise your upcoming open house, you want to make sure, depending on how you've decided to structure the open house, that you're including either a registration link or the link to view the day of, or telling them where to go the day of if you're doing a live stream, so that they know how to find that video. So there's like I said, there's a couple different options. You can pre-record a video and show it live. You can go to the property and live stream it during the actual time you're advertising this open house. Or you can do like a slideshow type of thing where you use the pictures of the property or a Matterport video and walk through it with your audience watching. So when they have questions, you can zoom into that room and, you know, turn the camera and that type of stuff too, if you don't want to go to the actual property, or, you know, if we get back to the point where we can't go to the properties, that's an option for you as well. So this is a couple of things we talked about, you know, sending your blasts out on social media. And like I said, you can do this on all platforms, not just Facebook. I'm just using this one as an example. And then you can also send an e-blast. So I'm going to come back to command. You can absolutely use that same graphic again if you want to. However, if I go back into designs, there are also open house flyers, which you could use for different things. If you're still allowed to door knock, you could door knock with an open house flyer. You can also use the flyer as an email attachment or save it as a JPEG and insert it right into the body of the email. So I'm back in designs here, hitting the plus sign, and I'm just going to hit print this time instead of social. Wait for that to load, and you'll see there's a bunch of different flyer templates already in here. All you would have to do is update, again, the content for your open house. So it already knew I was in open houses, so it kept me in that category. So you can see we have some door hangers, and we also have flyer templates and postcard templates. If you are planning far enough ahead of time and you want to mail postcards, you'll have that option too. I'm going to click on this one here because I do want to show you that you can just easily swap the photos out as long as the property is listed. I know sometimes people will advertise their open houses before the house is actually active on the MLS. Once the property is listed or in the KWLS, you can pull in the information about the property. So you can see we have our stock photos in here. And on the left, I have this button that says KWLS. And I can search by address, MLS number, KWLS ID, listing agent, or co-listing agent for a property. Let me see if I can just pull up by town. Not sure if that'll work. Okay, here we go. So here's some, all right, it's not the town, but that's okay. Here's something on Glen Ellen Road. Oh, none of these have pictures. Here's something on Glen Ellen Road. I'm going to select that listing, and you can see that the photo pulled right in. I guess they don't have a lot of photos. The photo pulled in right here. If you have multiple photos, they'll all show up here. And all you have to do is click the image on the right that you want to replace and hover over this guy, the photo that you want to actually have in the flyer, and hit the little circular arrows there. You see how if I hover over it, it says replace image, and it'll snap it right into place for you, so you don't have to play around with resizing anything. So they make it nice and easy. You can do that anywhere in Designs and Command. So we talked about doing some free social sharing. Here we have a way to make flyers, so you can door knock with them. You can save this as a JPEG or a PDF and do an e-blast with it. If you're part of an organization that you want to advertise it at, like Chamber of Commerce or something that allows you to do that, you can use it for something like that as well. So that's a little bit of the pre that you can do for free. And I don't want to save that. I want to go in and talk about the Facebook ads for a little bit as well. So has anybody here done a Facebook ad yet? No? Okay. Bobby has? All right, good.
I have.
Okay, there's a few people. Good. So that's another thing you can use Command for. Now, again, if anybody here is not KW or watching later, you can do Facebook ads directly through Facebook, but this is nice that it's built right into our system here. So with the Facebook ads in Command, we're just going to go into campaigns here. You can create a graphic ahead of time if you want to. That's specifically what you want to use to advertise your open house, or you can just pull in the listing photos from the MLS. So I've just hit campaigns here. You know what, I might have a sample open house one already. So let me go to paid ads at the top and we'll see what I already have pulled up here. All right, so I'm going to click this Matterport ad. And this is one I've already created. So I'm just going to open up this draft and I hit edit campaign. So the screen will look very similar, even if you're starting from scratch. I just already have the information populated in here. So you can see I don't have a listing selected. Oh, my Facebook became unconnected. That's because this is a demo account. That shouldn't happen for you, don't worry. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, somebody's doing something. Sounded like a pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
Wonder. All right. So we don't actually use this account to run ads currently, so that's why nothing's connected. But you can see, come on, go away. You can see on the right, I'm glad that's not covering this. Holy cow, I think Command's having a seizure. You can see on the right here that I created this image inside Designs already, and I uploaded it in here. So it says take a 3D tour now. So this you can see is a Matterport image. I'm sorry, these things keep popping up, guys. But behind it, it says fall in love with this distinctive craftsman style home. So, you know, it's talking about the property. It will delight you inside and out without leaving your couch. Take a 3D tour of every inch of it as you were there, as if you were there by clicking learn more. So here's our learn more button. And then under here, it says 3D tour, and take a 3D tour now, and then photos and videos of your home, and there's a link. So with this, anytime you run a Facebook ad, you have the opportunity to upload your own graphic in here, and you can actually link it to a landing page. So depending on how you're running your open house, in this case, this one would be pre-recorded. So you could open up Zoom, or Loom is another good system that I use a lot, L-O-O-M, and you can screen record. So you would just host a Zoom meeting with yourself, or download, Loom is a Chrome extension you can get for free, and host the open house and talk through it as if people are there, but have it all pre-recorded. And then the benefit of that is that when you launch your actual event the day of that you're advertising it, you can let that play and people can comment and ask questions, and you can be in the chat responding live. to the questions. So that's a nice way to do that. And then you can see who's there and kind of keep track of everybody that's attended. So that's one way you can do it with pre-recording, because one of the hard things about doing it live is that you can't necessarily see who's attended unless they comment on your post. So you could, if you're running it through Facebook. So if you're doing a live inside Facebook or YouTube or something like that, it doesn't grab the information of the viewers. It'll tell you how many people viewed, but you can't see their names after the fact. Now, if you're doing it on Zoom and you require a registration, well, then you would have all of their emails, at least emails at the very least, not necessarily their phone numbers and everything, but you have some point of contact to start with them. So that's why I was saying that there's a lot of different ways to do this. Okay, this is kind of making me dizzy. I'm going to back out of this page here.
While you're doing that, I have a question. You're talking this 3D tour, like Matterport. Where is that something that as agents we subscribe to?
So a lot of photography companies offer Matterport as a add-on, and then there are companies that will do Matterport tours, like that's their specialty. So we a lot of the times work with oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on it. Starts with an M.
Mm-hmm.
I'll think of it. I'll share it with you. There's a local company that we work with a lot that does Matterport tours. I think they start at $180 for the whole package, which is a really good price. I can just think of the person's name that I talk to all the time. His name's Max. I'll get there. It'll pop back into my brain.
That's okay. So
if you search for Matterport tours on Google, you'll find a ton of companies that'll do it. So that's the 3D camera that'll give you that dollhouse tour.
Okay, so because obviously as agents doing open houses, these aren't our listings. So if the listing agent doesn't have something like this, we would have to initiate that and put that together.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, your list agent may have already had one created as part of their marketing materials. If not, you would definitely want to consider if that's worth the investment for you. However, there are almost like self Matterport type systems that you can get. There's one, I can't think of the name of this one either. I can look it up. That you can get a kit. I think it's $100 or $150, and you just attach it to your cell phone, and you can do tours like this with your cell phone. And it's a one-time purchase of the kit. I don't know if there's any like hosting fees or anything like that for the videos, but that's obviously an option if you're doing a lot of these open houses and you want to consider that investment. That's a little better than $180 per property.
Right, exactly. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so that is that example was if you had something pre-recorded. Now you could make a graphic that says, come to my live open house. I'll be at the property and we can walk through and I can answer your questions, that type of thing, if you want to do that. So you just have to gear your ad around what type of virtual open house you're hosting. So that's, I think, all the basics of advertising it. The important bits about that are make sure you share. Share some more. When you think you shared enough, share some more, okay? You want to do it at least 3 days ahead of time. If you have more time, that's great. It's okay to post multiple times. Just make sure you're changing up the text a little bit so it's not exactly the same thing going out. And then I talked about a couple of different ways that you guys can share. So free posting on social, emails, door knocking, and paid advertising here. So that's a way to get the word out. Make sure when you're doing that you are including, of course, your date and time, but you're including some form of lead capture. So and that's going to kind of depend on how you're actually running your open house. So we'll talk about lead capture when I'm doing the next step here. But like I said, if you're doing a live event, you need to do lead capture ahead of time. So if you are going to do it live and go to the house and walk through with your phone and show everybody the property, definitely bring something like a tripod or a gimbal or something so that your hand doesn't get tired and you get shaky. But you can absolutely request that people sign up for it and only provide the link to the live video, don't tell them it's just going to be on Facebook, but only provide the link after they register, because then you get their contact information. If you're pre-recording it, you can require registration to come see something that's pre-recorded. Okay, so to do something like that, you can come into Consumer on Command and make a landing page. You could do something like this in Google Forms too. So the great thing about landing pages is that when a new person comes in, they automatically get added to Command as a lead. The nice thing about Google Forms is that they're much more customizable. So with the lead forms in Command, it's just going to be first name, last name, you know, very basic information. I'm trying to see if I have, let's see, is this one set up? So we made this one, see how it says 3D tour? This goes with that graphic that I just showed you, that ad sample. So we have the property information, and it says it's the 3D tour of the property. And as it loads, you can see it's got all the stills. But if you're actually going to be there, that's going to add more value, right? Get people more interested in coming to your open house. And then as you scroll down, so this one, the tour is embedded in here. If you're doing a virtual open, don't put your tour in your landing page. That defeats the point of getting them to come there live, right? Just put the property information. It's got the download my app, and here is the lead capture form. So you could put this lead capture as the first thing at the top of the page. You can put these in any order that you want. And you could just have the lead capture form and not have property information. That's totally up to you. So if you want to say, you know, register to attend my virtual open house at 123 Main Street could be your title, and they have to put their information in, and they would pop into Command, and then you would have to then send them an email. That wouldn't be automatic. You would have to get them the link to your actual presentation for the day of. Any questions on that?
I do have another one. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I keep asking all these questions. I know there's, I think it's probably more especially with Zoom. It's, you know, if you kind of make it just out there, I've heard, and I've seen this happen where you just get some people on there doing really silly stuff. They can get into the meeting room and just, you know, it's people you don't want in there. So
Yeah.
is that also that, so by having the landing page, a link, and then having them being invited to the open house, that's obviously a secure way of preventing that from happening, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily know who these people are that you're sending the link to, but it would limit that from, you know, people like Zoom.
That's true.
Zoom, you know, what is it when you photobombing, Zoom bombing?
Right, exactly.
But additionally, the Zoom has really they've been pushing through a lot of updates. It's now required to either have a password or a meeting ID or something like that to get into the meeting. So they've been adding extra steps like that as well. That said, if you are doing it live, you're just going straight to YouTube or Facebook and streaming live from a property, there is no link registration. So that's why you would want to do something like this and tell them once you get their information, all right, make sure to come to my Facebook page at this day and time. I'll be going live then. You can see the property and ask all your questions in the chat there, or you know, something along those lines. So then you can do it live from the property.
Okay.
And Facebook will record. It records all of your lives, and so does YouTube. So you can use that footage later if you want to.
Okay, and it saves it to your page, right? Your forever. Okay.
Well, and you can tell it. So once you finish the live, Facebook will ask you, do you want to publish this to your page? And you say yes, and then it'll be there forever until you delete it. So people could see it after the fact and continue to ask questions.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy?
Yes.
Where was that lead form again in Command?
It's under Consumer, and you want to go to Landing Pages. And I can't remember if I've done a video on landing pages yet or not. So if I have, I'll go ahead and link it in this video as well. I did go over it in my Enhance Your Listings Digitally class. We did go over landing pages in that, so I'll link that one as well. Okay, so that's advertising, and that's a little bit of the setup. You know what I want to do is unshare real quick so I can see everybody again. Okay, so now we want to talk about the actual open house. Are you guys leaning towards doing a live stream the day of, or do you like the idea of pre-recording it?
Live stream.
Live stream? Anybody else?
I don't know, I'm on the fence.
Well, let's talk about some of the benefits of each of them, okay?
Okay.
So we'll start with live stream, since that's what Jeannie was talking about, is that you are live, so as people are watching, they can ask you questions while you're there, and you can answer them and show them things on the spot. So that's a huge benefit of the live stream. Also, you just, as long as you're doing your lead capture ahead of time properly, you will still get that information. You just need to be prepared to do that up front and know that when you are live streaming, there's no way to capture that information unless they comment on your live stream, okay? Because that's huge. A big part of the open house is getting the leads, right? That's the whole point. So when you're doing that, you can just bring your smartphone. You don't need any fancy equipment. Just bring your phone and your camera and yourself. If you want to make some index cards with notes about what you want to talk about in the property, absolutely do that. Nobody will know. There are like lavalier mic kits out there for like 20, 30 bucks if you want something like that. There's a lot, if you're going to be doing this a ton, there's a lot of little kits out there that you can use to enhance, you know, your audio or, you know, lighting on your smartphone. So you definitely want to make sure all the lights are on. Obviously, we don't have to worry about putting cookies in the oven to make the house smell good, because unfortunately we don't have smell-o-vision yet. But you just definitely want to make sure, you know, windows are open, lights are on, so you get that nice, beautiful light coming in. You could get a ring light for your camera if you wanted to, you know, the one they just clip on so it shines on your face, so you get some good lighting on your face. And like I said, they have little lavalier mics that just plug into the audio jack that you can clip on your shirt so people can hear you better if you want to do something like that as well. Or if, like I have an iPhone, it came with, you know, with the headset, with the mic built in, and that's going to be better than just talking into the phone. But if you're really looking to up the audio quality, just look on Amazon. I can probably find some links and post them in the video too for you guys. So those are some of my recommendations for actually going live. Is think it through, plan out your path that you're going to walk through, put some bullet points on some note cards on things you want to point out. And it's going to be tricky. You might want to bring two devices, one to film and one to watch for comments, or have somebody come with you and have a laptop and kind of monitor the comments, because that's going to be the hard part, is to be live and see what the questions are. Okay, so just be prepared for that. And you can always ask questions. It's great to ask questions when you're going live, like leave an emoji in the comment, or tell me what your favorite part about this room is, because then again, that's creating more interaction and more engagement on your video, which will trigger other people to get alerts that this is going on Facebook to come pull them into the video as well, into your live stream and in view. So that's some tips for actually going live. And then of course, save your recording after the fact. And then if you are pre-recording, like I said, you have a couple of choices to make ahead of time. One is to choose what system you want to use to record, whether it's Loom or Zoom, or you want to go to the property and do a full walkthrough with your camera the same way you would do live, but just have it pre-recorded. That's an option as well. Okay. So when you're doing that, again, you want to make sure you have your registration plan all set up so you know who's viewing and you can get that lead capture. And then you can do actual, like a PowerPoint. When everything first hit, nobody was prepared to go virtual for open houses. So some people were just putting together PowerPoints of their photos and going over the photo, having the photo pulled up on the screen and talking about the features of that room. So that's one way to do it. Especially if you are hosting an open that's not your listing and they don't have like a Matterport tour or something, and maybe the client isn't comfortable having people in their house, but you have those photos, so leverage that. Let them work to your advantage. So that's one way to do it, is create a little like PowerPoint type presentation. Another one is if you have Matterport, you can record yourself going through the screen with the house pulled up and go from room to room and zoom in and zoom out and do all that good stuff. Again, make notes on what you want to talk about. And then the other way is to actually go to the property and do the same thing, walk through the property and talk about the different features of the room and just have this all pre-recorded. Now, a nice benefit of doing it that way is that when you do go live, so you have this video up and on Facebook and on YouTube, you can actually publish all this stuff ahead of time and set it as a premiere so that it automatically will start playing at a certain time. And then you can be there to monitor the comments and answer questions as it's running. And you can do that from anywhere, your home, your car, whatever. As long as you have internet, you can do it. So those are the two main ways, is live or pre-recorded. And then it just depends on what system you want to use. You guys have questions about that? You want me to dig into that at all?
Question.
Yeah.
Amy, I'm not sure if you're aware, is there a feature in the KW app that consumers can now request for a virtual tour?
Yep, they can do it in the app or on the website. So let me go ahead and screen share. That's a great question, Bobby. I'm going to pull up, oops, got to click my screen first. That would be helpful. I'm going to pull up, Bobby, what's your website? Oh, you're muted.
Interrupt.kw.com.
Okay, so when anybody goes to the website, so this has nothing to do with the actual open house that you've requested, but it's a great question because you guys need to know what's out there. And if you start getting a bunch of requests for the same property, maybe you want to host a virtual and invite these people to it. Always accept your cookies. Use Google Chrome. I'm in incognito. These are all my tips for you. Okay, so we're going to search I don't know if my location services are on. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. Yes, I know. Thank you. Okay, so here's the whole US. We can zoom in to see results. So we're just going to zoom, 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 zoom. Now, if they have their location services on, it'll take them like to a pin drop to where they are. I'm weird. I don't put that stuff on my computer. Big Brother is watching us enough, right? So as you zoom in, you'll start to see the properties. You can also type in here. Oh, I think I clicked too much. You can type in here for a neighborhood or something as well. Okay, I've gotten close enough. So now you can see there's all these properties that show up. So I've got the dots on the map. Anything with the green calendar already has an actual open house scheduled. So you can see if I hover over that, then we see the open is scheduled as Sunday at 1. However, if we're looking at a property, here's one out of our Naperville office. So I'm a consumer, I'm looking at the website, I see this property, I click on it, waiting for it to load here. I can see all the pictures, the pricing. I'm like, this looks pretty good. I'm really interested in this. We've got a button right here that says schedule a video tour. Isn't that cool? So you would put your information in and you have to actually have an account, which means if they have one, they can sign in right here. If not, they can create one and that person will now go into Bobby's account as a lead inside Command. So I'm going to be in your system. You better put me on your monthly neighborhood nurture. Oops, how do I spell my name right? Oh. You see right here's the login if they already have an account with you. Uh-oh. All right, I gotta log into my actual account. All right. So now it's going to ask me if I want to switch to Bobby because I had somebody else as my agent. So we're going to switch to Bobby because I'm on his website. Yay. Okay, so now I'm logged in. It's going to reload. And I'm just going to click that schedule again now that I'm officially in there. So if they're already logged in at this point, that screen wouldn't have happened at all. That only happens if they're not currently logged in when they come visit your site. And you can see I have the option to add 3 dates and 3 times that a virtual tour would be a good option for me. I also have the option to put it back to in person if I really want to do a showing in person. And I can choose what platforms I'm comfortable with to do this virtual open house. So I can say, yeah, I like FaceTime, I like Google Hangouts, Messenger. I don't have a Google Duo, you know, I like Zoom. And then they can put something else if they want to. They can put any notes in here, and then they can request to schedule the tour. They'll get an auto respond email saying that you will be in touch with them, and you will get a notification. And I believe they're sending emails now for this, but definitely a notification on Kelly and in command, on the little bell in command, that you have a tour requested. And then you can contact them and reach out about which time works best for both of you. And the idea of this system was that you go to the house with your phone and do a two-way chat with them. However, if you've already recorded an open house virtual tour at this point, you could just send it to them and then answer their questions because you've already recorded it. Did that help, Bobby, to see that? So they can do this through the app as well.
Okay. Yes.
See, I put it in because I didn't put any times in. Do you want me to put it through so you can see what happens in your end?
Sure.
All right. So I'm just gonna pick a day, and then they can choose morning, afternoon, or evening. So it's not a specific time. Oh, that's probably not gonna work because that's right now. Let's do tomorrow afternoon and Sunday morning. I guess I'm not going to church if I'm going to an open house. All right, so we're gonna hit schedule live tour. And now you see I get this confirmation that it was submitted, and then Bobby should get an alert now that I requested that tour. And I'm gonna see if I can pull my email up and see what on the consumer end. Oh my gosh, I have so many emails, don't look at that. I have a lot of things that are like recordings that I want to go back and watch, and I just never got rid of them out of my email. Let's see here. I don't think it's come in yet. All right. Well, I'll come check on that later. I don't want to hold us up. Okay, so that is the virtual tour request through, I showed you on the website. Like I said, you can do it through the app as well. So that's running the actual open house. Questions on that? No? Okay, great. Well, we got about 15 minutes left, so we can go through follow-up. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of command, and I want to click on Smart Plans. So this is a Keller Williams specific feature. Has anybody in here used Smart Plans yet? I know Bobby's been playing around with them. Anybody else? All right. Well, the good thing about open houses and Smart Plans is that there is a Smart Plan template for open house follow-up already set up for you. Isn't that cool? So I just clicked on Smart Plans. We have a lot in the demo account, so if you've never been in, this will be blank. All you have to do is click on the library at the top. And you can see these are the plans that are already created, so you don't have to start from scratch. So let's scroll through here. The third option is open house follow-up. So I can go ahead and click view steps to see what that entails. And we have got a text message the day you set it up. It'll wait a day, and you'll get a reminder inside command that says you need to interact with this person. You need to call them or email them, whatever, touch that client, make sure that they remember that you were their open house guide. 2 more days delay, give them a call. 3 more days delay, send them another text message. 4 days, give them a call. 3 days text. 4 days, touch them again. 3 days delay, and add to another, the long-term nurture. That's what LTN is, long-term nurture smart plan. So if you guys are using the smart plans and you want to connect a phone number for texting, you can set up a Twilio account and it will automatically text people for you. Or you can set these up to be reminders to you to send out a text message. Now that's going to be a lot more labor intensive for you because you'll have to manually send those texts to everybody. So if you are interested in doing that auto texting, I definitely recommend signing up for that Twilio account. I believe it's $1 a month if you want to purchase your own number. So $12 a year isn't too bad for that type of system. And then it's less than 1 cent per text. So you do get charged for the texting, but it's less than 1 cent per text. You're getting the Keller Williams bulk discount on that. So it's really nice system. We've been using it for career night in our office to remind people that that's coming up, and it's been working really well. And a lot of agents all over the company are using it. It's nice because you can use merge fields in there too. So you can say whatever your contact's name is, you can tell the text to say, you know, hi, John. It's Jeannie. It was so glad to see you at the open house. And when you come in here, let's go to add smart plan, apply. Oh, my open house follow up too. You come in there and you can actually update the information that's in the text. So if you don't feel like it's in your voice and it's really sounding like you can customize that. So we're going to go back to my smart plans now. That was just the library. And so that should be right at the top since I added that. I can come over to the right, hit the little pencil, and it will open it up. And this is where I can do all my customization. So I can go through this in depth a little bit more. We can also re-go over anything in more depth that we talked about at the beginning. But definitely the key to your open houses is to have that follow-up plan, whether you want to use these smart plans or you just have it in a system already created that's working for you. If you are in the E2P offices, Craig Siebert is here in Glen Ellen. He has built an entire business off of open houses. He's up like 150% this year to date right now, and was pretty much the same thing last year. So he's just been growing and growing and growing all on open houses. And he teaches, he's our education or career development chair here. So he teaches pretty regularly in the office, and a lot of times we'll talk about those open house strategies. So he's a great guy to reach out to. But yeah, follow up is key. You got to be consistent. This isn't like a one and done type of thing. A lot of times people would come through open houses, they're a year and a half out. They're just looking to see what the market's like. They're maybe not a year and a half, but you know, it's the same thing with online leads, that they're not necessarily people that are looking to buy tomorrow. They just are, dipping their toe in the water. So now that this is opened, I just want to kind of scroll through so you can see right here. It says, hey, contact first name. Just like I said, thanks for coming by. What did you think of the open house? And it's already pre-scripted for you. But you could come in here and edit the text if you want to.
Question for the Twilio account phone number. How does that appear on their end? Because obviously in a lot of our, business cards, online, email, signatures, website, I think most of us have probably put our cell phone numbers.
Mm-hmm. So it will show up as the Twilio number. That's a good question. What a lot of people will do is, first of all, you don't have to purchase a phone number. However, if you don't, every time a text goes out, it could come from a different phone number. So I recommend buying the phone number and then telling people this is a number I use sometimes for business. And then when the texts start coming back in, you do get charged each way. So if somebody responds to you, when they respond to you, they'll just text them from your regular number and just say, hey, that's a line I use just, sometimes in my business, this is my direct number. This is the best way to get a hold of me. And then they'll just switch over. People don't care. It's a business decision. You know what I mean? Businesses have all kinds of phone numbers and lines and everything, and they'll feel special that they got your direct line. They can get to you, right?
Okay, cool.
So that's
Thanks.
how people do that. It was a great question. So yeah, that's just a little preview of the smart plan. You can see there's scripts and everything right in there for you. So we've covered a lot of ground already. We got a few minutes left. Is there anything you guys want me to dig in more, or do we have just general questions about this open house process?
Somebody asked in the chat about a watch party. What is that?
Oh, thank you. Let me open. I can't see my chat right now. Give me 1 second. All right, Jen, good question. So a watch party is, I don't know if I can show you. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up my office group real quick. We do a live huddle every morning that we do on Zoom, and we stream into Facebook. So Jen, if you're thinking about doing a watch party, a premiere is also a good way to go because it kind of builds excitement around it. The nice thing about premieres on Facebook is that when you do post it, it will post onto your page that this event is coming up, and people can like request a reminder for it. Same thing on YouTube, you can request a reminder for premiere videos, and then they'll get like an email alert or a notification in their account that that's coming up. And then it's just another piece of advertising for you. And you can use the graphic you made in Designs to advertise it if you want. Let me scroll down here. Okay, so here is our live from this morning. Yeah, I think you can only do the watch party when it's actually live. So what will happen is if you're doing a live video, there's going to be a button on here that says like start watch party, and it will send out an alert to all of your followers. Or Jen, if you have it on your business page, if you have it on Ellen and Main's page, and you or Margaret or Margie start the watch party, it'll alert all of their friends on Facebook, so you can get a different group of people to get the notification for. So it sends out like a real-time notification saying, Jen just started this watch party, come check it out. And it's just another way to push that out there to the world. Did that help?
So again, that would be just from your business page, your personal page?
Yeah, so you can still do your live on your business page, and it will be an option. It's a little purple button. It looks like a carton of popcorn, and it says watch party. You just click on that, and it will send a little alert to everybody.
Okay. And then I did have one other question. Outside of using Facebook, our business page, like then the open house group to advertise the open house. Any other recommendations, for genres or venues to, reach out to?
So within social media, especially Facebook, there's a ton of like neighborhood groups. Now all the groups have different rules, but if you get into all the groups, like there's one called Happening in Lombard, and there's like Glen Ellen Garage Sales or Glen Ellen E-Moms. Like there's tons of neighborhood groups set up. There's also Nextdoor. And so Nextdoor, I think you'd have to do a paid ad for something like that. I don't think that they would let you do that for free. But a lot of those neighborhood groups on Facebook allow open houses to be shared. So just check the rules of the group and you'll know if you're allowed to post that type of information. For us, we do have the PLN and open house group for the E2P group that you can post in to let all the agents in the area know that this is coming up. And there are other realtor groups out there. I know a lot of people posted in our regional group too, the Mid-America region.
Oh, okay.
And then Jen said, is there anything we should be putting on the MLS regarding open house videos? Oh, so I believe it's still there. After everything started with COVID, they added an option in the MLS when you schedule an open house, you can check off if it's virtual or not. I believe that's still available. So yeah, if you're not going to be there, if you're not inviting people into the open house, make sure to check off that virtual one so people don't show up at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we talked about groups. Running the Facebook ad, door knocking. Yeah, I think on social media, those groups are a good way. You could, like I said, you can always reach out to chambers and stuff like that, or local businesses, and ask to partner to share the word. You could have, even if you're doing a virtual open house, you could still ask to like do a partnership with a local business and have them share that you're doing this open house, and maybe give away a gift card to a restaurant in the area and have them sharing on your behalf as well. And you give away the gift card to one of the people that attended. So that's a great way to partner and meet some of the people in your area too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
You can do that with lenders and stuff too, but I always like to support the local businesses.
Right, especially now more than ever.
Exactly. boutique or something that's in the area. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
All right, well, it is just about 11 o'clock. I think we have another class coming up on the same Zoom feed. So I am going to let you guys all go. But like I said, I will have this on YouTube. I think this weekend. I'm going out of town, so it might be early next week. Give me a little grace with that. And then I will send the recording out to everybody that registered as well. So thank you so much for attending. You guys had some great questions today. I really appreciate that. Next week, it'll be September, won't it?
Mhm.
So we'll be back to 1 o'clock on Thursdays for next week's class.
Cool. Thanks, Amy. This was great.
Thanks, you guys. It's great to see everybody.
You too.
Have a great weekend and good luck. Let me know. Share on our social. Tag us so I can see your open houses.
Will do.
Free. Amy Stack.
Bye.